On July 26, the Royal Thai Air Force (RAF) announced that it had launched 2 airstrike operations using fighter jets on the third day of border conflict with Cambodia. In the first operation, F-16 fighters targeted Cambodian artillery positions in the Phumaka region after RTAF received intelligence that the enemy was preparing to open fire. At 4:40 p.m., RTAF launched a second wave of airstrikes, deploying 2 F-16s and 2 Gripen fighter jets to bomb a Cambodian command center south of the Tamantor Temple and additional targets near Thai Temple. According to RTAF, both temples were being used by Cambodian forces to launch artillery toward Thai territory. The strikes successfully neutralized both targets, and all aircraft returned to base safely. Cambodia has yet to comment on these reports. Cambodia's Ministry of Defense accused the Thai military of deliberately targeting villages deep within Cambodian territory during the third day of clashes. On July 25th, Thailand had also deployed F-16s to strike multiple targets in Cambodia, including 2 areas bombed with cluster munitions. Cambodia condemned the act as a violation of international law, but Thailand insisted it only used cluster bombs on military targets and that no long-term harm was caused to civilians. Tensions have escalated since July 23rd, when Thai authorities accused Cambodia of laying landmines in disputed border areas, the same areas where a May clash left 1 Thai soldier injured. Fighting broke out near the Tamantor Temple on July 24th and later spread to other parts along the border. Thailand reported 20 fatalities, 14 civilians and 6 soldiers, with dozens injured. Cambodia's Ministry of Defense stated that 13 people were killed and at least 71 injured. Following a closed-door session of the UN Security Council on July 25th, Cambodian Ambassador Cho called for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire and peaceful resolution. However, both sides continued to exchange fire at new locations on July 26. In the early hours of July 27th, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet posted on Facebook about a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump concerning the border clashes with Thailand. He stated that President Trump expressed hope for an immediate ceasefire and restoration of peace. Hun Manet confirmed that Cambodia agreed to the proposal for an immediate, unconditional ceasefire, calling it positive news for both military forces and citizens. He assigned Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Bro Khan to work with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio to coordinate with Thailand's Foreign Ministry on implementing the agreed principles for a ceasefire. Hun Manet thanked President Trump for his initiative and mediation role, emphasizing the potential to save lives and enable hundreds of thousands of refugees to safely return home. Meanwhile, Thailand's acting Prime Minister Phaka Chi confirmed that Thailand agreed in principle to a ceasefire and was awaiting a serious commitment from Cambodia. Thailand had asked Trump to relay its intention to hold bilateral talks as soon as possible to establish ceasefire measures and a peaceful resolution. The 3-day conflict has claimed at least 33 lives and displaced over 150 people along the border. The international community, including the UN, the US, China, Russia, and the European Union, voiced deep concern, urging both parties to exercise restraint and resolve disputes through dialogue. The usually bustling streets of Kamparalak district in Thailand's Sisaket province have turned into a ghost town as the intense border conflict enters its 3rd day. According to Reuters, Kamparalak was nearly deserted on July 26. A 31-year-old man named Zenuat Thalal, standing outside the hotel where he works, described the grim scene. almost everyone has left. It really feels like a ghost town." He added that the hotel remained open for those near the border needing shelter. Tensions between Thailand and Cambodia have intensified as both sides urgently seek diplomatic support. Each claims its actions are in self-defense and calls on the other to ceasefire and begin negotiations. This recent outbreak marks the most severe fighting between the two Southeast Asian nations in 13 years, resulting in dozens of deaths and over 130,000 people displaced. Tensions rose further as Thailand's Royal Navy reported new clashes in Trat province, a new front more than 100 kilometers from other disputed border areas. The standoff has escalated since late May 2025, when a Cambodian soldier was killed in a brief skirmish. After clashes erupted along the Thai-Cambodian border on July 24th, the UN called for maximum restraint. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres urged restraint during the July 25th closed-door Security Council meeting, labeling the situation the most serious escalation between the two neighbors in over a decade. UN humanitarian officials confirmed civilian casualties and mass displacement. UN relief partners reported more than 131,000 displaced in Thailand and over 4,000 in Cambodia. Temporary shelters such as schools and temples are overcrowded, with urgent needs for food, medical aid, and hygiene supplies. UN Deputy Spokesperson Stephanie Tremblay stated that the UN stands ready to support humanitarian efforts if requested. UNICEF also called for maximum restraint, stressing the protection of children and essential services as per international law and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. On July 26th, President Donald Trump announced that he had spoken separately with the leaders of Thailand and Cambodia, and both had agreed to a ceasefire. Posting on Truth Social, Trump said he had a very good call and informed the Cambodian Prime Minister of his discussions with Thailand and its acting leader. According to Trump, both sides want an immediate ceasefire and peace. He noted that Thailand and Cambodia also expressed interest in resuming trade talks with the US, which he said would not be appropriate until the fighting ends. President Trump added that both sides had agreed to meet immediately and work quickly on a ceasefire agreement and ultimately, peace. He said he looks forward to signing trade deals with both nations once peace is restored. Trump made these calls while visiting Scotland. Previously, on July 25th, the UN Security Council held a closed-door meeting on the Thailand-Cambodia border crisis. Representatives from both countries were present. The meeting didn't aim to pass any resolutions, but served as a formal platform for parties involved and the 15 Security Council member states, both permanent and non-permanent, to exchange and receive updates. The UN urged maximum restraint and avoidance of further escalation. The recent severe clashes along the Thailand-Cambodia border have displaced tens of thousands and caused civilian casualties, including children. On July 26th, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressed deep concern over the continued armed conflict and called for both sides to immediately agree to a ceasefire and resolve issues through dialogue. He also reaffirmed the UN's readiness to support any efforts toward a peaceful resolution to the border dispute.